All right, what is up? It is in the middle of week 43, 2025. Just checking in with some updates, thoughts, things going on, keeping everybody up to date here. Everyone's coming into basically some of their final A races of the coached athletes here. We have the, of course, New York City Marathon coming up. We have Ironman Florida. And of course, we can't forget last final big race of the year is going to be in New Zealand at the 70.3 World Championships. Good luck to you. And then really it's just off season and planning. Although off season's a strange word when we use it, and I'm trying to change terminology as I use things because some people take it a little differently. Off season doesn't always mean off. Like it's not that we're not doing anything. It's almost like, let's call it, maybe there's two phases of it where there's recovery and downturn from the year, and then there's prep and planning for the following year, because what you're going to do at the first part coming into the off season is going to be, pulling you out of 2024 and everything you were doing so you can stay healthy, get healthy, maybe recover a few things, and then build forward for 2025 into those goals. And that's going to be the preparation phase and base building phase for that, because, we need to base build for what's to come. Maybe what your base building was last year is not going to be the same base building as this year because of the type of racing or sport you're going to do. Remember, this is endurance sports and endurance coaching, and there's so many different things that people are doing out there, training for shorter run races up to the marathon, ultras, triathlons, duathlons, trail running, all kinds of different things. So all those are encompassed into some people's plans, and they come and go from different things. So we have to kind of see and make sense of it all. And that's why it's nice to have an idea of what is to come for your season in 2025 a little bit ahead of time. And we'll talk about, that in a little bit. And, just one of the big things and big points here is strength training. That becomes a big question that I get, and how to do it, how to get involved in it, how do you start. There's so many different programs out there. I mean, you can just go on, follow an influencer online and just do all of their workouts if you want. So there's so many different things, and it's like, you don't want to, at least for me, if I'm going to invest time or even money into something, I wanted to get the best bang for my buck for the goals that I want for the future wise. So all these different things that we do and go out nutrition wise, recovery wise, you go get massage, you get all these things. You want to make sure at least the direction that you're going is assisting you in what inevitably your final result is, goal wise, for everything like that. So I did get one question. I'm going to pull an article up right now, and I'm going to actually post that article into the group, the private group, once I'm done with this. And a lot of it is the question of, a few people have asked, and this might be cause a little controversy, but this is why we have these conversations. I like to bring these things up because they're loaded questions, and I don't want to just say yes, no, or not be able to give my opinion. So that's why I wanted to make a little video on it. Is CrossFit a good way to go into a strength training cycle for the endurance athlete for the next season? A few people have inquired about possibly getting involved to CrossFit. Now, for myself, I've never done any structured CrossFit. I've never gone to a CrossFit gym. I've never done any structured group class CrossFits, but I do talk to many people that are involved in there. So I did want to do some research on this topic, and I have my own feelings in it. So I wanted to see how other coaches feel about it. Matt Fitzgerald, 80-20 endurance coach. I follow 80-20 methodology of endurance training, and it's helped me a lot. It's helped a lot of the athletes a lot. It's funny, I pull up an article, and this article I'll post is, hold on, right here is, the title of it is Why I Try and Talk Every Endurance Athlete Who Does CrossFit or Is Interested in Doing CrossFit Out of Doing CrossFit. Now, it's not to say that you can't get strong doing CrossFit, so that is not anything near what we're talking about here. But the grand scheme of things is, when you want to go into a cycle of doing something, are you doing it because you want to try something new and have fun at something and try and just branch out? Or is it you want to add something to your routine or your periodization of cycling year after year that's going to inevitably help and build the goals that we have for endurance? Now, also, you can look at the other side of things, is Google how many articles pop up that say CrossFit is great for endurance training. And as I was trying to find all these things, a lot of the places and things, that articles that popped up that took that point of view were related to or part of some type of CrossFit gym's website, trying to say, yes, endurance athletes, come into our little circle. We're going to make you better, stronger, faster, more powerful endurance athletes. So with going to this type of strength training, you have to ask yourself, are you going there because you want to become a good, better CrossFit athlete, or do you want to become a better endurance athlete? What they're talking about in this article here is there are some other things that you need to consider if you do want to do strength training to help your endurance. Now, picture this. Maybe you took a break from strength training for a while. You're the atypical athlete who maybe does some strength training. As their training cycle ramps up or the volume increases, they kind of cut out or minimize their strength training for a certain period of time, sometimes a little longer than we want during the season. And now we've raced, we've done long distance, half distance, full distance events, and we've kind of beat our body up. Endurance training in general is kind of catabolic. If we're not fueling ourselves properly, it does break tissue down, it does break us down. Those athletes are typically kind of a little leaner and carry a little less muscle mass. And because that's kind of the efficiency of the human body, is to get there faster in a smaller package. But the thing that happens with all that is we start to develop a lot of imbalances and a lot of problem spots. Something might have been bothering you at some point throughout the year here. So is it smart to go out of that, in that condition, into this higher paced, high intensity type of strength training? Now, if you want to just, because you're interested in that type of strength training, that's one thing. And I would recommend that if you're going to do that, really go into it like anything else for the first time. Don't say, well, I've lifted weights before, I'm just jumping in a class and let's go. Let's do some awesome, really intricate compound movements here. You do have a high chance of getting hurt because what you should be doing is working on some of these imbalances, starting lighter, proper form, building up these imbalances that we created. Probably your posterior chain's a little weak, your glutes might not be firing as much when you're running anymore because you've neglected to do strength training in there. So there are other types of things that will get you more bang for the buck that aren't so intense, and we'll talk about the intensity of CrossFit workouts in a minute. Is we may want to do some more stability work, single leg work, some more specific type movements, lateral movements, single leg movements, those type of things that can help build and make the structure of our body for the movements we're going to do in endurance stronger, and that is what in turn is going to help us become more efficient, faster, and more resilient against injury. So the other thing with this as well is 80-20. If you remember in the intensity overview that I did, that the video I have up on intensity guidelines for following an 80-20 type endurance plan, is look at a cycle of a week or a month. In anything you're basically doing in that time frame is going to have to get split. So if you're going to go to these Orange Theory F45 type gyms or some type of CrossFit workout that's going to be a high intensity workout for an hour and your heart rate's getting pretty jacked up and you're fatiguing your body a lot, that's actually going to fit into that 20% bucket of volume and time. And if we're training a little less now, endurance wise, because it's kind of the off season, if you hit one of these workouts twice, even 3 times a week, you've now plugged basically that entire bucket of high intensity. So you're just stuck for the rest of the week now, just doing easy, moderate zone 1, zone 2 swim, bike, runs, because you can't stress the body enough. Like it's you're not going to gain the fitness that you need. So that may stagnate a little bit because your training is now going to have to kind of really stay at this baseline. So these are just things you need to consider when you want to go into some type of strength program. So I'm not going to sit here and say you should or shouldn't do some type of strength program, because I think anything that you get into the proper way is going to help you just be healthy and have fun, because that's inevitably what it comes down to here, is having fun. So with that being said, my opinion on it is I, for myself and my goals, would not do that type of training this time of year. I'm taking a couple weeks to get back into some light strength training, starting with some body weight movements. I mean, shit, I went in there the first day or 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and was like, I got this. Let me just grab some weights. I'll do some lunges. Man, I was fried the next day for a couple days. My legs were sore because I just haven't loaded them with weight like that before. And I do have some imbalances and some strength issues I need to work on going into this off season. For myself, I like to do a lot of trail running. So this is just my journey of why I'm doing certain things. And with the trail running and longer mileage that I'm going to be doing, even though that mileage is going to be at a lower intensity running as my volume increases for the trail running or any ultras that I might be prepping for, I do need to have that resiliency to be out there on the trails and be stronger to go up and down these hills, over these tree stumps, doing lateral side steps over some obstacles that might be on the terrain. And these are types of movements that I'm going to work. I'm going to be doing step ups, weighted step ups on boxes, weighted step downs on boxes. I'm going to be doing band work, lateral work, skater jumps, some plyometric movements that are going to spark the central nervous system and get that rapid release of energy that I'm going to need to become stronger and more, have a little more power and spring to my step out there. So those are the type of movements and things I'm going to work on. And then as my body starts getting back into it over the next few weeks, then I'll start adding some more, squats, deadlift type stuff, more just strength as a whole coming up, just so that I can be a little healthier and get a little stronger overall with that. So that's how my program is going to look. So for the coached athletes, there's a strength tab in Discord. So if you're kind of like, I don't know where to go with all this strength stuff, there's a ton of workouts in there. Last season, I believe I recorded 14 different workouts that are on the private YouTube channel. They're very easy. I did them all at home in my gym with just some basic weights, body weight stuff, band work, things like that. That is something you can follow. And if you start from 1 and work to 14, do 1, say, you can alternate, do 1, 2, 1, 2 the following week, and then go to 3, 4, or do 1, 1 the first workout twice during the week. That will help progress because they went from basically body weight, lightweight to some heavier weights over that time frame. That's going to give you 2 to 3 months worth of workouts to do. As well, any workouts that I'm going to currently do right now, week to week, I'm going to post in there as well. I'll put the rep range in there. I'll put the sets in there so you can follow along with that progression as well. So there's just going to be a library of stuff and movements in there. And if you don't know what a certain movement means, I'm thinking about doing a strength video where I can just show some movements, demonstrate them. So there's kind of like an encyclopedia of different types of single leg movements to do, different type of plyometric movements to do. So you can kind of grab an exercise from each of those buckets and make your own workout as well. But some people like just seeing a list, give it to me. I'll do it and I'll follow, I'll check the boxes, and that's something that you can do by just going in that strength tab, following along and just getting the stuff done. Most of the stuff does not need any intricate type of stuff. There's plenty of heavy stuff around your house. Facebook Marketplace is a great place to get some strength stuff. I just picked up a set of 4 slam balls, different weights on there. Adjustable dumbbells, great for space saving, things like that. And, that's where we're going with the strength training stuff. For 2025, just zip it into that real quick. A video coming out soon about that, plans, races, some upgrades here for, just the Discord server, giving a try server, the channel, what's to come for coaching next year. I'm working on a bunch of things in the background for that. And, what it is for every year, basically, to, for me, I like to plan and do something a little more each year, just add something. I like taking the stairs, as I call it, as opposed to the elevator where you just try and shoot for the top right away in a short period of time. So I have to find next year what my next step is, what my next goal is, what my next thing I want to chip off the block is going to be. And, that's basically where we're going to go with that. So everybody who's finishing prepping for New York City, awesome. Congratulations. I want everybody to get after it, finish this up. Great weather. Training weather has been phenomenal. So get out there, keep getting it done. I'll check in with everybody soon. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep balancing that life 1 mile at a time. See you on the next one.